Okay, guys, I'm just going to give everybody one more minute. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get started now. Let's give it till 11:03. All right. If anybody joins in late, if Yelena or anyone else who's already in can just let them know that we will be sending out a recording to everyone who signed up. So if you have to leave early, it's not a huge deal. But if you want to get your questions in, feel free to hang around. All right, today we're talking about municipal transactions using ACH payments. I'm going to tell you best practices. If you're looking at switching ACH or your current provider or implementing it into your municipality, I'll have a lot of good information for you here. My name's Megan Marek. I'm part of the digital transformation team at HeyGov. I've worked for the company for about a little over 2 years, and I kind of know all the ins and outs. So if you have any questions, I will have a question and answer session closer to the end. There's a little questions tab right next to the little chat tab. So you can enter in your questions there. And like I said, I'll get to those towards the end. So just to start out, what is HeyGov? Who are we? We're a software company based out of Door County, Wisconsin. We create software specifically tailored for local government. We want to help local government run more efficiently. So we've created a municipal payment solution that helps you streamline your services. We're currently used by over 250 municipalities in 28 different states, and we have 5 different apps that help you digitize your municipality. So here's just a little overview of all the different apps that we offer. The first one's HeyGov Pay, which allows for online and in-person payments. Next up, we have HeyLicense, which is online licensing and permitting with workflows. We have HeyReserve for your online reservations. It's kind of like Airbnb for municipalities. If you have any facilities, park pavilions, your town hall that you rent out, we can bring those reservations online. Hey 3-in-1, citizen reporting, citizen request, brings it all into a nice dashboard that's easy to review, and it has two-way communication so you can respond back to the residents. And then our newest app is Clerk Minutes. It creates AI-generated meeting minutes. It takes that process that may be 5 hours for some between putting the agenda together and attending the meeting and then actually creating the meeting minutes. It shortens it to about 30 minutes or less. It actually writes your minutes out for you just based on your agenda and your meeting recording, whether it's audio or video. So if you're interested in any outside of what we'll be talking today, feel free to email us. We'll be sending a follow-up email, and you can book a call with me, and I can go over whatever you're interested in one-on-one. Today we will be discussing HeyGov Pay and kind of the ACH side of things. Even if you're not interested in using HeyGov, I'll be giving you a lot of great information about how to implement ACH in your municipality and the best practices for that. So what sets HeyGov apart from other payment providers, online payments, online licensing, whatever feature you decide to use? We actually consolidate all your payments into one place. So anything your residents want to pay for, they can pay for all in one place with HeyGov. We keep our mobile app consistently updated to ensure peak performance, and it's available on both the App Store, Google Play, and they can access our apps just from their desktop browser. We have many training options, guaranteed same-day support during business hours, and we do have 24/7 emergency support if there's something that just needs to be taken care of immediately. So let's get into the ACH payment side of things. What are ACH payments, and why does your municipality need them? I'm assuming if you signed up for this webinar, you may have a general idea of what ACH payments are. You may already use ACH payments, but let's talk a little bit about them and why it's good for your municipality to have ACH as an option. So ACH stands for Automated Clearinghouse. That's just kind of where the payments are facilitated through. So ACH payments is a type of electronic funds transfers transfer, and it's used mostly in the United States. It provides a way to move money without having to use checks, wire transfers, credit card networks, or cash. So they work by being processed in batches by the Automated Clearinghouse Network, and that's operated by the National Automated Clearinghouse Association. This network's used for a lot of different types of financial transactions. A lot of people use it for direct deposit of salaries, Social Security benefits, tax refunds, and bill payments. There's two different types of ACH transfers. There's the ACH debit transactions, and that's where funds are being pulled from an account. That's like if you're paying a bill or fees or even just making a purchase. And then there's ACH credit transactions where funds are being pushed into account. So if you're getting like direct deposit from your employer. We can handle the direct, debit transaction side of things. So paying bills and things like that. So just a little bit more information about ACH and its benefits. It's very cost effective. So the processing fees are less expensive than credit card transactions. So if your residents are making big payments like a tax payment where it may be in the hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars, it lowers that fee significantly. One of the cons though is the time frame. They're generally not instantaneous, so it can take a few days to process the payments just because of how the process works, where they're having to go through the clearinghouse, and depending on the time of submission and what banks are involved, it can lengthen the process or shorten it. But ACH payments are very secure and reliable. They use batch processing, and they have measures in place that can detect fraud and any errors. So it's a very secure and reliable way to make payments online. It's used very widespread. So most employers are using ACH for direct deposit, and it's very commonly used for online bill payments, especially things like rent and taxes, and longer payments. So it's very commonly used. It's not something that's going to be new to anyone. Most people have made an ACH payment in their life. Regulation and compliance wise, they are subject to the regulations and standards set by NACHA, as well as any federal and state laws. So you want to check with any company you're using to make sure that they're adhering to those standards. ACH payments are an integral part of the financial transaction system in the U.S. It offers a very efficient and cost-effective way of transferring funds electronically. Like I said, it's nothing new. Most people have made ACH payments before, whether they knew what it was called, that it was ACH or not. So why should your municipality utilize ACH? One of the top reasons is time saving and convenience. So with online ACH payments, it's going to streamline the transaction process. So if they're not using a credit card, the best next thing, or maybe even better than credit card payments, if you look at the lower transaction payments, is going to be ACH. It can also be an automated process, so it's going to reduce the time and effort required to process payments. It's very hands-off. You don't really have to babysit it other than just going and making sure all those transactions are going through. A lot of companies who facilitate the ACH transactions will actually do this for you and keep an eye on things, make sure there's no errors taking place, payments are going through correctly. But this can lead to a more efficient use of staff resources. So if you're not having to sit there and actually facilitate the payments yourself, it can lead to a quicker turnaround for both receiving and making payments. It also leads to reduced paperwork. Any type of online payments is going to do this. It's going to significantly reduce the amount of paperwork involved in handling the transaction, since it's all online, including the paper trail, which is digital. It's going to minimize the risk of errors and the need for physical storage space. Like I said, everything's just going to be online in a secure private cloud. And with that, that also means that it's more environmentally friendly than in-person payments. So just more on why your municipality should utilize ACH, enhanced accessibility and customer service. Um, Offering online ACH payments makes it easier for your residents to make those payments like taxes, fees, any services that you offer. And for those who don't use credit cards, some people just do not want to use any credit cards, even their debit cards online, just for an extra layer of security. It gives a method for them to make online payments. It's just going to connect directly to their bank account, so there's no intermediary. And like I said, it's very safe, secure, and commonly used way to make payments online. So yes, so it creates more accessibility for the residents who don't want to use their cards for online payments. And I spoke on this just a slide ago, but just for a little to expand a little on the automation potential, it can also be integrated into your existing financial systems, which means that you can have automated reconciliation and reporting, which is also reducing the administrative burden. So it can integrate directly into your accounting software, tax software, depending on the company. But even if there's not like a complete automated way, a lot of times there's at least a file swap method available where you can just export the information from your ACH payment provider and just import it into your accounting software, which is a lot less work than having to manually enter in all that information. Another good benefit is public perception and trust. If you're modernizing your payment systems and offering more ways to pay online, reaching more people that might have not wanted to pay online previously because of the credit card fees that can get a little bit crazy. It's just adding an extra layer of modernization to your systems. It's going to enhance the public perception of your municipality and show that you're being technologically up to date. Hard to say that word, but it shows that you're being modern and up to date and customer focused. So how can you implement ACH payments into your municipality? Stick with me through these steps. It might seem like a lot, but it's actually a very simple process. So the first thing that you need to do is assess your needs and set objectives. So why are you implementing ACH payments? Are you aiming to reduce cost, improve efficiency, or enhance the user experience? You needed to determine the specific needs of your municipality and just kind of lay those out. Like, what type of payments are you going to be processing? Is it going to be taxes, utility bills, fees, fines, all of the above? You want to offer ACH for everything, but just it's good to clearly define your objectives. The next is the how. You need to develop a plan. You need to create a detailed implementation plan that includes like your timeline. So when do you want to have ACH payments up and running by? Resource allocation and budget. So how much money are you willing to spend to get ACH payments up and rolling? Who is going to be involved in this? Who is going to be involved with talking to the software companies and actually implementing it? So who's going to kind of be the person for that? There might be multiple people. Maybe the clerk and the treasurer is going to be in charge of that. But it's good to kind of develop a plan and figure out how you can get ACH up and running. This plan, obviously needs to address the software and hardware requirements. So is it going to work with your computer? What piece of software do you need to facilitate the ACH payments? And you also need to think about things like staff training and what changes are going to be made to your existing process. The next step is choosing a payment processor. Sometimes this is facilitated through your software company. Like, we facilitate this so you don't have to actually choose a payment processor. We have one that we know and trust that we have for you. So we'll handle all of that. but some companies, they want you to actually choose a payment processor to go with. So you may need to select a payment processor or bank that you can go through for the ACH payment services. You need to look at things like fees. What are the ACH payment processing fees? The lower it is, the better it is for your residents, since usually that cost is passed on to them. The security features, are they meeting those standards? Customer service, are you going to have to talk to the payment processor, or would the software company do that for you? And with the software company, how much customer service do they provide? And integration capabilities with your current financial systems. Can the software or payment provider integrate with your accounting software, your tax software, your utility billing? That's important to look at if you want all your systems integrated for maximum efficiency. The next step is ensuring compliance and security. Again, we talked before about how they're regulated, and it's very important to make sure that compliance with the regulations are being met. So you need to make sure you understand and kind of look through the rules through NACHA, and any other relevant regulatory bodies, maybe look at your state and local laws. You need to make sure that there's, robust security measures to protect against fraud and data breaches. Some things that's important to look at is if there's, for example, a way to save payment methods, like save their bank account, what kind of security measures do they have to make sure that information is not getting out? Where is this information being hosted? Is it actually with the payment provider, or is it with the software company? So that's one important thing to look at. Again, we've kind of touched on this before, but integrating with your existing systems. You want your ACH payment system to integrate seamlessly with your financial software, accounting systems, any tax software you have, utility billing. This can be crucial for efficient transaction processing, reporting, and reconciliation. So you want to look at the time-saving benefits of each piece of software you look at. Next up, you're going to have to train your staff. So anyone who's going to be interacting with the software, your payment provider, the ACH transactions, you need to make sure that they're trained. So you need to think about how you're going to do that. You need to provide comprehensive training on how to use the ACH system. It needs to cover the technical aspects and regulatory compliance. So the next thing is going to be test the system. You've chosen a company, whether it's just a software company or directly with a payment provider or bank. Before you go live, you need to conduct thorough testing. Are there fake bank accounts, cards you can use to facilitate the transactions? That's something important to ask with your software company, just to ensure that all of the components are functioning correctly and that the system's secure and compliant with regulations. And then next up, you can actually launch the ACH system. You might want to start with a pilot program, kind of roll it out slowly if necessary. If you're still feeling a little hesitant, you want to make sure that you monitor the system closely after launch to address any issues promptly and make adjustments as needed. As you get more comfortable and time goes on and you know how it's going to function, you won't have to babysit it as much. And like I said, a lot of software companies will keep an eye on this for you. Next up, you need to inform and educate the users. So you need to get people actually using the ACH system, or there's no point in having it. So it's important to communicate with your residents and any other users about the new payment option. You can provide clear instructions on how to use the system and who to contact for support. Educational efforts can include website updates, mailers, social media posts, and public meetings. I'll touch on this a little bit more in a moment. After implementation, there's two important things you need to do consistently. You need to gather feedback and optimize. So you need to, after you implement the ACH payments, you need to collect feedback from both internal users, so any of your staff members, and external users, residents. You can use this feedback to make continuous improvements to the system or even your process, like where it's linked on your website, what the process looks like. And then the next thing you need to do is regularly review and update the system. So if you're using a software company, you want to make sure that you keep in contact with them. And if they're making updates, maybe there's new things that you can utilize along with the ACH system. So just regularly review the system to ensure it's meeting the needs of your municipality and your residents. Stay updated with any changes in ACH regulations so you can make sure those are still being met, and any technological advancements. You can ask your software company, like if there's anything new that you can try out, or if there's any new updates with ACH that you haven't implemented yet. So here's where we can talk a little bit more about informing and educating your citizens. You want to make sure that they're actually utilizing the system and that they know about it. So some ways that you can make sure that they know about the system, that they know that they can make ACH payments online. The first one's online resources. So you can create a section in your municipal website if you currently have one. You could have a section specifically for ACH payments, and you can have an easy to follow guide on how to use your ACH payment. So it can just be like a couple of steps, like go to this website, choose this option, enter in this information. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, just some simple steps for those that need a little bit extra help in online processes. And you can also include links on that page and even throughout your website to your ACH payment portal. So depending on what you're taking payments for, maybe you're doing it for property taxes. Maybe you already have a property tax page on your website. On that page, you can include a link, say pay your property taxes here, and it links to your ACH payment portal. So just different things like that will really increase use of the online ACH payments. You could also just directly mail or email your residents if you have their contact information with instructions on how to use the new ACH system, or just letting them know that it's available. You can also let them know how to contact you if they have any questions, or if your software company facilitates support in those matters, you can also include their information. Some other communication channels where you can get the word out there is social media. That's a big one. If your town or city has a social media page, you can make a post, make it look nice, let them know that there's ACH payments available for whatever you're allowing online payments for. Local newspapers, people still read newspapers, and some of them are only offered digitally. Some are still mailed out. Either way, it wouldn't hurt to put it in the newspaper. Your local radio stations, let them do a little call out about it, and any newsletters that your municipality sends out just to spread more information about the ACH payment option. Another big one is actually incorporating QR code and instructions on bills. I know at HeyGov, we'll actually provide you with a QR code if you need one that will go to a specific payment portal, or just a page that lists out all the different payment options. And you can include a QR code with brief instructions on your tax and utility bills that lead to the payment portal. So they just have to scan, and then it'll pop up on their phone, which provides them an easy and immediate way to make their ACH payment so that they can utilize the online payment system. So how can we help with ACH payments? One thing that we offer is online and in-app ACH payment portals, so they can either use it on their phone, on, like I said, the HeyGov app's available on the App Store and Google Play Store, and they can just use it on their desktop browser as well to make the ACH payments. We provide PCI compliant, secure payments. They're facilitated through our payment provider. And we use a very nationally well-known payment provider. We have a very low processing fee for ACH payments, and I'll touch on that in a moment. We allow for remote QR code payments, and we help you with the design for that. And we can, your residents can save their payment methods in an in-app wallet, and that is stored with our payment provider and not with our company, to make sure that it adheres to the PCI compliance. And we can also connect to your accounting and property tax billing software. If we don't already have an automated connection and they're not willing to have an automated connection with us, we can build a file swap connection with any company. So it's as simple as just exporting the information out and importing it into our system, and then exporting it out from our system and importing it back into your accounting or tax billing software. And so this is kind of what our QR code designs look like. You can add them to any of your bills. You can add them to your website, any newsletters you send out. And it leads to the payment, it leads to the payment portal that's in the back here. So it can either lead to a direct payment portal or just a list that has options for them to choose what they want to make a payment for. And we have the option for them to either make payments via ACH or they can use their credit or debit card. Our ACH processing fees, 0.88% with a $5 max fee. So they won't pay anything over $5 if it's an ACH payment. And the credit card processing fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents, and there's not a cap on that. So we do recommend you implementing ACH if you're taking payments for things like taxes that can get into the thousands of dollars sometimes. And here's just a little comparison. So we can see on this nearly $3,000 payment with ACH is capped at $5. And then the same for the same payment with a credit or debit card, it makes the payment fee almost $89. So that's a big difference. Saving them, $83.75 having ACH as an option. And again, we do have a secure in-app wallet where residents can save either their bank account details or their credit card and debit card details so that they don't have to continually type that in every time they want to make a new payment. And again, this is hosted through our payment provider. They can access it from our app, but none of that information is stored in our servers just to ensure PCI compliance. So you don't have to worry about data leaks with their card information getting out or anything like that. And we have a very robust and easy to use backend for admins. So you have a whole admin portal where you can take payments in person with a card reader if you want to. You can request payments by email or phone number. You can log cash and check payments here if you want to keep everything in one place. Everything separated by department, or you can separate it by payment type. You'll be able to see your balance here. You can view all your deposits into your bank account. And you can also print receipts and make refunds on this page. We also, if you choose to utilize our billing feature, I think I lost connection for a second. If you choose to utilize our billing feature for taxes or utility bills, we do have a billing accounts control center as well, where it has detailed information. You can go into the accounts and make any edits to like addresses, names. You can add fees if you need to, view their balances and their past payments. And it'll show you how many people has paid their bills through HeyGov, and when you had bills imported, it'll give you an update each time. And I touched on this before, but you can generate and print receipts. Your residents can actually do this at home if they want to. They can print off all the receipts, or you can print them in office if needed. And for reconciliation, to help it be an easier process, you can view very detailed information for each of the deposits into your bank account. So this is a breakdown of all the transactions that was included in that deposit. You can export it to CSV if you need to, but it shows you who paid, how much they paid, the date, whether it was a payment or refund, and then the description for the payment. So what were they paying for? It gives enough detailed information to help with reconciliation. And we'll also integrate with your accounting software. If we don't already integrate with them, we're always willing to form new connections. If, like I said before, if they're not willing to create an automated connection with us, we can always just do a file swap method where you can import and export the information out as needed. So what payments can you bring online with HeyGov? The answer is really any payment you want to take, we can bring online. But here's some examples of some things our customers have been doing. Some of the most popular ones our boat launch passes, utility bill payments, property tax payments, parking fees, citation payments, donations, pool passes, cemetery plots, event tickets, rec payments, and then any of your payments for your licensing and permitting. If you just want the payments online, you can do that as well. We do have Hey License, which allows you to bring the whole process online with online fillable forms hosted in our app. And it gives you a whole backend where you can approve and decline them as well. But you could just bring the payments online for them if you wanted to. And here's some of the companies that we integrate with already. Like I said, if you don't see your accounting or whatever company you're wanting us to integrate with on the list, we are still willing to integrate with them. So with HeyGov, some of the benefits are that you get white glove service. So whatever you need set up, we do it for you. You give us a list of payments you want online, we'll create all the payment portals for you. We'll add your departments in. Whatever you need us to do, we will actually do it for you. That comes with the service. We'll also work with any department managers that are interested in utilizing HeyGov and figure out the best uses for them. We'll also train them and their departments on how to use HeyGov. And again, I know I've said this a million times, but it is very important. We will integrate with your accounting software. That will save you a bunch of time. We can have your municipality ready to take online ACH payments in as little as 3 business days. If you're willing to get on a call with us and set it up right after you sign, we can have you up and running within 3 business days. It's a very quick, easy, simple process to get them up and running. So now it's time for our question and answer session. If you have any questions, drop them in the little question box, or you can drop them in chat. And while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna have this screen up. If you're interested in joining our next webinar, let us know and we'll make sure you get an invitation. It's about transforming municipal operations as a whole. So I'm gonna cover a whole bunch of digital tools that you can use to bring your municipality online. It'll be a wide range of topics, less in-depth detail, more of an overview of different tools that can really make your municipality run more efficient. And that's the 25th of this month, and it'll be at 11 a.m. So again, let me know if any of you have questions. I'll give you a minute to get those in. And if anybody wants one-on-one training, or you just kind of want to see an overview of what HeyGov has to offer, you can also let us know about that, and we'll book a one-on-one demo. What's the phone number for customer help? We'd love someone to. So let me get our phone number. Our line just leads to a voicemail, but if you do give us a call, we can give you a call back, or you can always email. Let me get our phone number. So I'll put it in chat, but it is 888-439-4681. And then you can also email me. I'm going to put my email up on a slide, and then I'll also type it in chat if you need it. If you'd like to book on one-on-one training. And if anybody needs to drop off, feel free to. We will be sending a recording in a follow-up email. I appreciate you all for joining and learning more about ACH payments with me.